back working on the Hayabusa. Today we are doing an oil change. I got some of this Maxima Pro Plus oil, K&N air filter. And so the guy said he did the oil change in this not too long ago, but it's a new vehicle. Figured I'd start fresh. That way I have confidence that it's been done and done right. And I did notice a couple of things once I got under here. I'll show you what I found. So first of all, it was leaking a little bit of oil, but turns out the oil filter, which you can just barely see right there, was loose. And I mean completely loose. It was, the seal was probably not touching at all. I'm surprised that more oil wasn't just pouring out of this thing. So again, it's good that I'm going through this because I was able to fix that. The other thing that's a little bit concerning, I may have to do something about this in the off season. Let me see if I can show you. There is like a hairline fracture in the oil sump right about there. Let me see if I can crawl under here and point to it. Right about there. It doesn't seem to be leaking, but I may want to pull that off and assume it's aluminum, probably throw a bead across it, grind it out, and weld it back together, just to be safe. There was a lot of oil under here. I've already kind of wiped most of it off. Got the engine all warmed up. It's up at operating temperature, so next thing to do is drain the oil. Crawl out of here. So the other thing that I plan on doing, now, I do not know enough about these Hayabusas to know whether this oil cooler is stock. I don't think it is. So that means I would have no idea how much oil this thing would actually take. So what I'm going to try to do is measure all the oil that comes out. I've got a separate pan that I'm going to catch it all in. It's this old pan that I use for random stuff. I'm going to pour it all in there as I drain it. That way I can measure out how much oil comes out of this thing. I'll have an idea how much goes back in. All right, let's get set up and do this. Alright, so I captured all the oil in this container here. The plan is I'm going to pour it into this using the funnel, and then that'll make it easier to pour it into this cup, which has pretty accurate graduations on it. And then I can just keep pouring it through here, dumping it into my oil container, and measuring out how much oil came out of the buggy. Now, this is going to get interesting. So at least I've got the camera rolling if I spill like a gallon of oil all over my garage. Alright, let's see what we can do. Here we go. Like a pro. Look at that. Perfect. Alright. Say that's good enough. And now, I can open this guy up. I can fill this cup up, dump it in here, and just count how many times. This goes up to 0.7 quarts. Probably just fill it up a couple of times. Alright, that actually worked out pretty well. So I found out the buggy drained right around 3.3, 3.4 liters. I know I'm doing everything in liters, that's just because what this cup is in. This gallon is 3.78, so about 3.8. So if I pour half a liter into here, I can pour the rest of this into the buggy and I should be pretty close on the oil height. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, there's half a liter. The rest of this is going back in the buggy. Show you guys this. This is a clean filter, or a clean funnel. This is the funnel I was using to pour the oil, the dirty oil, into that cup. You can see the inside of it is disgusting, and that's usually how a lot of people's funnels end up. This one's nice because it has these caps, which keep the inside real nice and clean. Just kind of a cool thing. I think these are... Who makes this? I don't know who makes this, but it says clean funnel on it. I don't know. I've had it for years, and I don't know. I like it. It's pretty nice. All right, so we're gonna go pour this oil in the buggy. All right, she's all filled up. You can see the sight glass down there, but we gotta run it, fill the oil filter and everything else. We're gonna fire it up. Seems pretty good. Right around the full mark when the engine's off, and just slightly below full when the engine's running. I think that's probably pretty darn good. Okay, drain plug looks pretty clean. All the fittings in the back and the oil filter also looking pretty clean. And that's scratch doesn't appear to be seeping any oil. It's probably just a flaw in the casting, I'm guessing. Either way, I'll have to keep an eye on it. Alright, I think we did it. Alright, sticking with the theme of lubrication, we're going to go ahead and lube the chain. I got some of this Maxima chain guard, crystal clear chain lube, synthetic. Been using Maxima chain guard for a while, but I've never had this crystal clear synthetic. This stuff I think is pretty new. We'll give it a shot. I got the buggy, the back end up in the air, so we're just going to kind of rotate the tires and spray some lube. Alright, so this is an O-ring chain. That's why I did both sides so that I can make sure I got a good amount of lube into both sets of O-rings. Spun it all the way around. Looks pretty good. Sprocket is not in the best of shape. You can see it's starting to get a pretty decent wave, but I think it'll be okay for this season. We'll see. First time having one of these chain-driven buggies. So I don't know how long these things are going to last or how much trouble I'm going to have with it, but good place to start is with a well-lubed chain. So I think we've got that now. All right. Test drive complete. That's it.